Hello everybody, Wolfpack here, and welcome to a new submarine simulation recently released called Wolfpack. In Wolfpack, you and 5 other players can take control of a German U-boat during the Second World War and go out and sink merchant shipping. And yeah, it's pretty fun so far. It's been released 3 days as of recording this, so I haven't gotten too much playtime into it, but from what I have experienced, it's been great fun. I figured I'd go ahead and do a little boat tour, I guess we can call it, of the submarine here and show you guys what is what. So right now we are in the control room where we have our forward ballast tank vents, which I will showcase later. We'll start here with our EOTs, our engine order telegraphs. So here you can control the speed of your boat. So you can go diesel engines and full speed. So let's go ahead and make those diesels work a little bit. At the start of the game, you start with 1 diesel engine and 1 electric motor running, but I'm gonna go ahead and switch both port and starboard shafts to electric or diesel power. Right below our EOTs, we have our rudder control, which is pretty self-explanatory. It lets you change the orientation of your sub. So we're gonna go ahead and make a turn, pretty much a 90-degree turn here to the north. And here we have our dive planes and depth controls. So let's go ahead and keep an eye on that and make sure we don't overshoot due north here. And we are closing in on 000. And once we hit that, we will even out our rudder to 0. All right, 350 and closing down. All right, and due north. Bam. All right. Here you have your dive plane controls. You also have gauges for your port engine RPM and starboard RPM. Here you have your depth meter showing the depth up to 25 meters. So this is pretty good for maintaining periscope depth. And here you have a depth meter which goes to 200 meters. And that's obviously good for reading your depth when you want to go below 25 meters, which you'll probably want to do during evasion. Here you have your dive planes, which allow you to control the tilt of your boat and submerge the boat. Here you have your depth meter in relation to your attack periscope. So the height of your attack periscope here is about 14.5 meters. So this helps control depth, and so whoever's on the attack periscope can actually see out the periscope and track enemy targets. Let's go ahead and hop into the radio room. Here we have our hydrophones, which allow you to hear, well, you know, underneath the water. Obviously, we are not going to be able to hear anything at the moment because we are on the surface. And here you have more gauges. You have a clock, which is actually pretty helpful. There's only a handful of clocks spread out through the U-boat, and that is one of them. I didn't mean to go through the hatch here. Here we have our radio direction finder, which is not yet in use, but it will be shortly. The devs are adding that soon. Have no idea how to use that yet, but I'm sure I will figure it out. We also have an Enigma machine, which you can use here, and a telegraph key, which it allows you to communicate with other U-boats in the game. Because in Wolfpack, you can have up to 5 submarines with 5 different players each on board, which is pretty cool. You also have a record player where you have a handful of songs that you can play. Alright, so let's go ahead and get up onto the bridge and I'll show you the outside world. And actually, I need to show you the conning tower. So here is where we're going to be making most of our attacks on board this sub. Then we have our TDC, which shows the target speed, torpedo depth. You generally want to keep this pretty shallow. They only have impact pistols implemented into the game at the moment. But once there is magnetic pistols implemented, then this will be a little more useful. So you can set the torpedoes to run underneath the ship's keel. Here we have range to target, length of the vessel. This controls your spread angle if you are shooting a salvo shot. So we'll go ahead and switch to salvo. And let's go ahead and get all 4 torpedoes. And when you adjust the length of the torpedo, as you can see, the spread angle changes as well. So that is fairly interesting. And here you have angle on the bow. And here's your torpedo status. So we have 12 torpedoes forward and 2 aft. Alright, and let's go up the ladder and open up the hatch and see that beautiful night sky. And here is the bridge where you can look for enemy targets. And wow, this actually looks rather pretty. They did a really good job with the night sky. It looks really awesome. And there is the moon. I doubt there's any targets in visual range. As you can see, it is fairly dark though, but it is the middle of the North Atlantic, so. We have the user shooting at targets on the surface, and this can be hooked up with the TDC as well as the observation scope and the attack scope. And here we have more rudder controls. We also have an anti-aircraft gun, which doesn't have much use yet due to the fact that there are actually no aircraft in the game just yet, but they are adding those shortly, and I'm sure the game's going to be that much more dangerous with them added. And here is our deck gun. Train over here and adjust range like using the up and down keys and fire. Maybe a Tommy destroyer heard that and will come and chase us, but we'll see. That would be definitely make the video very interesting. You can see the outside of the boat looks rather nice, and here we have the sawfish of the U-96, which is pretty nifty. Alright, so I suppose I can go ahead and submerge the boat, huh? I think that would be a nice way to end the video by going beneath the waves. So, oh, no, let's open the hatch, ladder, and close the hatch. Also up here we have our attack periscope. I didn't showcase that, but it's nothing too exciting. Most of yours, hey, I can show you the observation scope. They're essentially the same. Yeah, here's the observation periscope. I don't think there's anything out there at the moment, no. If anything, the observation scope should be more ideal in this low light situation due to its bigger aperture. So let's go ahead and rig for red and submerge the boat. So we're going to go ahead and open our forward ballast tank vents, excuse me, and aft ballast tank vents opening. Alright, and as you can hear, the water is rushing into those tanks. Alright, and let's go ahead and get ready to submerge. Dive planes, pretty much 35-degree angles on both, and engines, electric motors, half speed. Alright, because you want to switch to electrics. Hopefully they didn't just fucking flood. I'm gonna be very upset if they did. Oh, I think they just flooded. I wasn't quick enough. I should probably, oh my god, we are really dropping. You wanna know why? You start the game with your negative tank filled as well. So let's go ahead and empty that and do some quick rudder adjustment here before we die. So here, I guess I should explain this too. The negative tank it doesn't do much on its own, but when it's filled along with your ballast tanks, you dive like a rock. So we kind of want to be sure this is empty unless you are emergency diving. And when you're crash diving, you also have a little alarm. But, oh, okay, our electric motors, I was quick enough. Okay, good, I can hear them purring away back there. At first I thought you can actually flood your diesel engines, which is definitely bad news bears if that happens. It just takes a lot longer for your electrics to kick on, but we are currently heading half speed. As you can see, about 150 RPM on both motors. So that is just a quick tour of Wolfpack, of the actual submarine itself. We also have a navigation chart. I'll get into that a little bit later. So anyway, thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys on the next Wolfpack video.